Have you ever had a moment that split your life into two distinct parts? The before and the after? Mine happened on a Tuesday. The air was thick with the smell of brewing coffee and betrayal. 60 seconds, that's all it took. Yes, 60 seconds of staring at her unlocked phone on our kitchen counter to watch my world, our world, crumble into digital dust. The life I knew was a lie, and the man I was died right there next to the half-empty sugar bowl. I saw his name. I saw the pictures. I saw everything. The worst part, I had to pretend I saw nothing. What would you do? How would you get your revenge? You ready for a story about how trust can turn to poison and how a broken man can become a ghost in his own life? Then settle in. Like this video. And subscribe, because you won't believe where this goes. The before was a life painted in warm, comfortable colors. 10 years with Sarah? We'd built a home in Lincoln Park, a short walk from the zoo. Our weekends were spent strolling along the lakefront trail, our hands intertwined, watching the sailboats on Lake Michigan. We had our spots, like that little Italian place on Clark Street. I thought our foundation was solid, built on shared dreams and late-night laughter. I was a fool. The shift was subtle at first. Late nights at work became more frequent. "Big project, babe," she'd say, her voice tired over the phone. Her phone, once a shared device for looking up recipes or mapping routes to a new restaurant, became an extension of her hand, always screened down, always silenced. She started dressing differently, a little sharper, a little more. For someone else, there was a new perfume, something musky and expensive that didn't smell like her. It smelled like secrets. One night I came home early, hoping to surprise her. I found her in the living room, backlit by the city lights filtering through our window, whispering into her phone. The moment she saw me, her face froze. She snapped the phone shut, a little too quickly. "Just a work call," she said, her smile not reaching her eyes. But I heard it, just before she hung up. I heard a man's low laugh on the other end. That night, sleep was a stranger. I lay beside her, the woman I loved, and felt like I was sharing a bed with an imposter. The distance between us wasn't just the inches of mattress, it was a vast, cold canyon. The discovery wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow burn, a series of small cuts that bled me dry. That Tuesday morning was the final, fatal wound. She was running late, flustered, grabbing her purse and keys. She kissed me on the cheek a cold, sterile peccant, rushed out the door. And there it was, her phone glowing on the granite countertop. An open message thread on the screen. His name was Mark. He wasn't just a coworker, he was her boss. The thread was a novel of their affair. Details of trysts in hotel rooms just off Michigan Avenue. Mocking nicknames for me. Plans for a future that didn't include me. There were photos of them in our bed, my bed. The humiliation hit me like a physical blow. I couldn't breathe. My vision tunneled. The life I'd poured my soul into was a joke, and I was the punchline. I closed the phone and placed it exactly where she'd left it. I went to work, sat in my office, overlooking the Chicago River, and saw nothing. The city was a blur. All I could see were those texts, those images, burned onto the back of my eyelids. That's when something inside me snapped. The grief, the shock, it all curdled into something cold and hard. Revenge wasn't just a thought. It was a necessity. It was the only thing that would allow me to breathe again. Spent the next 2 months becoming a ghost. I played the part of the devoted, slightly clueless husband. I made her dinner, I asked about her day, listened to her lies about team dinners and weekend conferences, all while my heart hammered against my ribs. Meanwhile, every spare moment was spent gathering ammunition. I hired a private investigator. I needed irrefutable proof, not just for me, but for what was to come. He delivered. Photos of them entering the Drake Hotel, credit card statements I found through our joint accounts, detailing lavish dinners I wasn't invited to. I even placed a voice-activated recorder in her car. The conversations I heard were devastating. They laughed about me, about my trust, my predictability. They were arrogant, untouchable in their little bubble of deceit. The plan formed in the darkest corners of my mind. It had to be methodical. It had to be total. It wasn't just about the affair. It was about the obliteration of the life they planned to build on the ruins of mine. Mark, her boss, was the head of a major department at a publicly traded company. His reputation was everything. Sarah was climbing the corporate ladder right behind him. Their careers were intertwined just like their bodies. The target was the annual company gala, the biggest night of their corporate year, held at a grand ballroom downtown. Everyone would be there. Executives, clients, the board of directors. I timed it perfectly. 2 days before the event, I drained our joint savings account, moving my half into a new, separate account. I contacted a divorce attorney and had the papers drawn up, citing infidelity, supported by a mountain of evidence. The night of the gala, I wished Sarah a wonderful time. She looked stunning in a new dress, the one I now knew Mark had helped her pick out. "I'll be home late. Don't wait up," she said, a final, casual lie. As soon as she was gone, I initiated the final phase. I created a simple, anonymous website. On it, I uploaded everything. The photos, the audio clips of them mocking me and company executives, transcripts of their most damning texts, and screenshots of company emails showing how Mark had given Sarah preferential treatment, promotions, and bonuses, a clear violation of corporate policy. Then, I waited. At exactly 9:30 p.m., when I knew the keynote speeches would be wrapping up, I sent a single, anonymous email. The subject line was a matter of corporate integrity. The recipients, the entire board of directors, the heads of HR, and a few key industry journalists I'd researched. Email contained a simple message and a single link to the website. I didn't need to be there to see the fallout. Phone started vibrating with news alerts an hour later. The chaos was immediate and absolute. Mark was fired the next morning, publicly. Sarah was suspended pending an investigation, her career in tatters, their affair, their lies, their ambition all laid bare for the world to see. When she came home that morning, her face was a mask of shock and horror. She saw the packed boxes in the hallway. I was sitting at the kitchen table, the same spot where my world had ended. I didn't say a word. I just slid the divorce papers across the table toward her. The only sound was the rustle of paper and her shattered sob. I left Chicago a week later. I never saw her again. Sometimes late at night, I wonder if she ever thinks about that Tuesday morning. I do. It's a scar that reminds me that sometimes the only way to heal a wound is to burn it clean. I have my life back. But it's a quieter one now. Colder, the end.